share my screen. I'm sorry. Hope you can see my screen, friends. Just confirm. Please confirm. We'll go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you for that. So this is how we generally communicate in our daily meetings. Whenever meeting starts, we just create a mock chat and inform team. Okay, please join. Session started. Our meeting started. Most of you will do that, right? Okay, let's get into the discussion now. So this is what. So how to build a simple program, and we did some operators even yesterday. If you remember, right, operators topic, even that is discussed, and different types of operators we had discussed. In that, we had seen some simple small programs. So now suppose I'll just start with the basic understanding, like, how to build this. Okay, simple code. And then at the same time, we try to cover few more operators, assignment operators, and then membership and identity operators. More than identity, membership operators are very helpful for us. We use it number of times in our coding. So definitely I'll tell you that importance as well. But before that, let me open a notepad. So that's better. I think I have already opened here. Okay. So now, if you want to write any simple program, I write sum of two numbers. Okay. You already know this. Most of you know this. And these days, you have to always understand how to write a simple program. And also you should understand how to apply artificial intelligence. AI plus programming is a good combination, but don't use AI in the beginning itself. That will hinder your learning, your thinking. Okay, so first build that and then apply that. So suppose if you want to find sum of two numbers, you should just define two numbers, a some value, b some value, and then you have to apply logic. That is the next step. Always logic. This is how it would be. Always inputs is important. That is the primary thing. Without inputs, we cannot do anything in any program. So always in program, input acceptance is the first step. Next, after that, logic building is the next step. So always you have to think in this lines, logic building. Suppose to find sum of two numbers, the simple logic is just doing addition. So something like a plus b like this. So c equal to a plus b. This is logic building. And third, just here it is printing. In real time, we try to use it in some other operation. Use that value somewhere in our process. Okay. Or in our other modules. That's how we build a program. So if I want to print it, I say some printer. Okay. You can just use different kinds of this thing. Okay. I'll just show you that also. You can use F string or directly. You can say, I'll show you different strategies of prints. The sum of C is, or you can just say, if you are using F string, suppose if it is F string, format string, what we call the sum of, we have to use placeholders. What is that? This is one placeholder. Okay. The sum of some is, and then what I can say is, and the two more placeholders. You can just add this and then and always this should be flower braces and then you can close this comma, you can just add. So the sum of A and B, this is what is, and this is the third placeholder. This is how you can define placeholders and you can add here A, B and C in the order of filling. Okay. So this is how you can create a print with format string. Okay. So what is format string here? It take placeholders. Okay. And this is the a very simple and easiest way of managing your output. So this is one strategy. We can use print in different ways. I will also explain about how to use print in Python so that it's easy for you to work with that. And I told you today we will also do dynamic initialization. I will explain all that now, right? How to do that. It's a very simple process. Everything is simple. Only just try to understand how we are using it. Okay. So this is the approach we should build. Always inputs and then logic and then something to display or add to the log or return this result. And this can be used somewhere by some other module or package. So that is how you ought to write a code. So understanding these basic things is important. So let's test it now quickly. Copy this, right? And I can go to PyCharm now. And what you can do, you can close all this. While providing names to the programs, giving meaningful names is always important. So Python package, I just give it as addition. Why I am not giving sum is because there is a built-in method sum and both gets confused. Right? There will be a conflict between both. So I just use addition. And now what I'm going to do, so I created a package, I believe, I'm sorry. You can delete it, not an issue. Okay, I just want to create a file that is enough for me. I don't need another package inside basics. So new Python file and then just addition. Okay, I created a program and just add that steps here. Okay, and here generally adding comment is a good thing in real time. You can use single line comments or whatever it is. So addition of two numbers or something. I'm just giving you how to make sure that you add proper comments, proper code hygiene. This is called code hygiene, right? When you keep growing in software, adding code hygiene is very important. Okay. So this is a simple this thing. So what is that? Maybe it is expecting values directly. Just a minute. I can take a quick help of ChatGPT here, the different print types because print types in Python. Generally, I ask few questions, personal questions like how do you rate me in ChatGPT? What is that prompting of that? Okay. Sometimes I just evaluate myself with ChatGPT itself. Okay, you can always do that. So this is one strategy. Okay. And then yeah, this is the basic print which we always use. Okay. Next one. So this is okay, fine. I don't want this. Yeah. Yeah. This is, I think I have to use this format thing. I missed that one. Here I have why I am getting error uh, is it using direct format? It doesn't use F. Okay, that is another strategy then. So dot format. This is actually applying a string thing. Okay. So for this strategy, I have to use dot format. And here in each placeholder, whichever value you want to insert or whichever value you want to substitute. So that will be substituted in the order you are passing here. You are passing A first, A is stored into the first placeholder. B is stored into the second placeholder. C is stored into the third placeholder. That's how. Suppose if I pass CBA, then your interpreter doesn't know that it doesn't fill it based on variables here. You have to choose the order. You have to make sure you are passing proper order here. That is important. And this strategy is you can see here. You can just add placeholders and then apply format method on top of this string. This is a string. And on top of that, you are applying format. You understand more with string class, okay? And then here you have to pass inside format method, you have to pass parameters or the input values so that they are substituted in the order you are passing here. A in first placeholder, B in second placeholder, C in third placeholder. Generally, this is useful thing. We generally use it for development purposes. Okay. So let me run this now. So you can see here the sum of 10 and 30 is What is it? It's 40. You got it right. This is a very simple program with a different print strategy. And same thing, I can also use another print. What is that print? I'll just show you how to use it. The sum of, okay. And here you have to say, suppose if you want to this, the sum of A and B. If you want like sum of A, and then if you want to print a value, you have to pass like this. This is another style of printing. You can see here, sum of this one, and again comma, you have to put comma again. And then you want and, right? You have to add a string again. Sum of A and again comma B. Okay, comma again is, okay. So finally what you have to do, you have to just say is C. So if you want to add any spaces or anything, you can adjust that. Okay, just a minute, friends. Give me a second. Yeah, sorry, friends. Somebody asking question. Question I have. Yeah, yeah. Recordings are there. I'll share that. Already I'm sharing it. You have a channel, like, I'll upload all this YouTube. You can just have public access. No problem. Yeah, you can see here. This is how you can use another print. The sum of A, you can just use comma as a separator. So you can mix this string and variables together to get the expected output. Okay, so let me run this now. This kind of print strategy as well. Okay, let me right click and then say run. And you can see sum of 10 and 30 is 40. It's almost same. Anywhere if you see that, okay, that's you have a bit more space, you can adjust that. That's not a big issue. So now you can run it again, right click, run this, and you can see that it's almost similar. So this is one more print strategy. There is another print strategy or another style of printing or using print. What is that? Same thing that is called F string. You can start with F, and the easiest thing is you don't need format this time. You can directly pass variables or substitute variables into the placeholders. Like, you can say A, you can say B, you can say C, something like this. That will just do the required this thing. Okay. And finally, you have to end it quotes here. That is important. Just end this. And I use this even regularly, this F string. Okay. While doing this HTML formatting, generally I generate reports. While generating reports, I need to print some data onto the HTML tags, right? To do that, I generally use this F string. I'm giving you a scenario as well so that you get an idea. So finally, what I have to do, I should say right click and then run this. You can see almost all three different styles have same output, but slightly syntax is different. So that is it, friends. Nothing more than that, right? So this is how you can use different prints. I hope you got a clear idea with how to use prints. Is that clear, friends? Or do you want me to explain one more time? Right? Should I explain? Is this clear for all of you? I think Sham, you asked me about prints yesterday, so you can see that here. I am trying. I brought you all the different strategies now. Okay. So you can choose any one of these. And are you good with this? All of you clearly understood how to use these prints? Yes or no? Good, right? Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. Then it's fine, friends. Thank you, friends. Next, let's get to the next topic. What is that? Dynamic initialization. I would like to explain another quick topic today. What is that? Dynamic initialization. This is only useful only at learning at this place because I don't remember using input function anywhere in my code. Okay, because I have a different way because I generally directly fetch data from databases and try to do some analysis and then do validations and then finally generate reports. In such case, there is no scope or place for using dynamic initialization. And most of the time in real time, I don't think we use this dynamic initialization like input methods. Maybe here and there in few cases you might use, but in many real time cases you don't use this. But still, for record purpose, let us learn this, okay? For learning purpose, simply speaking. So let's do this now. So if you want to input anything in Python, we use input method. That's all, simply input. You should understand one thing that, and it is very simple to use. If you ask me, this is just remember to input anything, just use input method. Simple, right? Suppose how do I do that? A simple example is I want to input A from keyboard. Okay, then I should say A equal to input. That's all. So this will input read a value from keyboard and assigns to A. But the problem is by default input method accepts by default whatever you enter from keyboard, it is read as it. How does it is reading? It is read as a string. So it reads as a string. Suppose I want it to be integer, then what should I do? The nature of input is it will always read anything from prompt as string. Then you have to do the conversion. And that's why we discussed conversion functions yesterday. You got it right. What are those conversion functions like int method, float method, string method? You remember all that. Even I had used few of them and explained them. So that is how it goes, friends. Okay, I'll show you again. I'll just make you very easy to understand this. So this is a input function. To do anything, to dynamically pass values, we use input function in Python. And the behavior is it by default read anything as string. If you need something as int or something as float or something as boolean, you have to do the conversion, explicit conversion. That's what you should do. Is that clear, friends? So that is the idea. So now let's test it now. Let's apply in the code. Come here instead of reading it directly here. Okay, I mean this is not. I mean reading in sense instead of assigning directly in the code. This is called static initialization. If you add a value directly to a variable, such initialization is static. So I want to go with dynamic. So I just add something here. So generally adding a comment is the best practice. What is that? Input value of a or reading a, simply you can say. Then you can say input and then just leave it. For readability purpose, you can add a comment here, enter a. So in the input console, if you want to be make sure that you can provide a description in this input function, but this is optional. You got it right? This is optional. If you don't pass, it doesn't print. I mean, it doesn't pass anything here. It doesn't show any description statement. Okay, or it doesn't provide any prompt here. Okay, but having prompt is a good practice when you are learning. Okay, so next I'll show you what if you don't have prompt as well, nothing happens. Sorry friends. Next, copy the same, just pass it here. Same thing, just change here this description because your the second one is reading B, right? That's how you have to do. But this is not enough. You have to do the conversion this to, what is that? This to string. Suppose if I run it now, let me run this program. Right? It is asking for A. I put some 10 and some 20, and you can see it is just concatenating both because both are strings here. And between two things, if you between two strings, if you apply plus, what happens? It will simply combine those strings. It's called concatenation. It is not doing any sum here. It should be 30 all the way, but we are seeing 10 and 20. That says what? What is that happening here, friends? It is not doing addition, but it is trying to concatenate both the values. Is that clear now? So this is the idea, friends. This is the idea of what, how the input function behaves. Then the question is, Manoram, I want this to be addition. I don't want concatenation. Then what is the solution? Just apply conversion here, int, and just pass that input function to this conversion function int. You can see that. And similarly, this one, just pass it to the conversion function. And this is how you have to apply in all your scenarios, especially when you are doing dynamic initialization and you want it to be a different type of data, not just string. If you want it int or float or Boolean, okay, or complex, anything needs conversion. Okay, now if I run this, see this now. I did conversion. This input will read a 10, which is a numeric string. Now that numeric string, we are converting it into integer. Similarly, same thing apply for B also. Now right click run this. Now it's asking input, you can just give 10. If not 10, anything, it's up to you. Okay, 20. And you can see here that is coming. So this is the expectation, right? So this is what we are expecting, not just concatenation. For that, there are different things we did before we expect that addition. So now suppose this is finally, this is the perfect this thing. We are able to finally do what is needed in the code. Now what I want is I just remove this enter A, enter B. Do you have any harm in that? Is there a problem? We don't have problem. It's optional. Suppose if I run it now, just the disadvantage is you don't have any prompt here. Sometimes we just think that we don't know that if program is running or not, unless if you are a experienced developer. I know that it is running here because by looking at this button, red button, I understand that. But how many beginners know that? Many beginners don't have that idea. They might be waiting for interpreter to ask something, right? So to our and now of course you can just enter 10 and 20, you get 30. See there. I know that because I included this input function. I should input some value from the in the console in the running prompt. So, but the disadvantage is you don't have any prompt here if you don't provide description. So the always best practice is have a description. That's good. You got it right, friends. Have a description. So even enter B, that's good. Okay. So this is overall complete analysis of how to do dynamic initialization, how to do the conversion, and what is the advantage of having prompts and disadvantage if you don't have prompts, and finally use different ways of printing it Python. So this just few minutes, this past 20 minutes helped us to gain the basic thing of Python. Okay. So this is it, friends. I'm just sharing this in the chat box. If you want, you can quickly test it. Okay. Just test this. So I hope you are clear with this, right, friends? All of you are fine, right? Okay. So now you can try some examples. What is that? You can try I'll just quickly add to the, so area of circle, you can try all this area of triangle, okay, area of rectangle, and then the perimeter of circle, okay, and all this perimeter of a triangle and rectangle. You can try this you can just add this, okay? You can just solve this. That helps you to gain some basic program building, okay? And similarly, perimeter of rectangle. So If you want, you can also add roots of quadratic equation. You can try this quadratic equation. Okay. So now I'm just sharing this in the chart. For practice purpose, you can use this very simple programs, friends. Okay. I'm also just adding in this thing here. Okay. Here also you can just add. If you can use there, even you can get it from there. So that even if you miss or anything, they are there in the group. Now after this, so let's jump to the next topic. Okay. So now you can build many programs like that. So, and now I am jumping to another topic. What is that? Assignment operators. You can see here. This is also very important, friends. Assignment means we are already using assignment. Yesterday we did discuss about arithmetic, relational, comparison or logical operators and other kind of operator we should understand in Python assignment. We don't have this plus plus and minus minus in Python, right? That unary incrementation, unary decrementation, what we have in like, plus plus and minus minus, we don't have that in Python. Okay, let me just talk about this is a simple assignment and there are two forms. This is a shorthand form. I'll just take a small example. What is that? You can just go to the prompt and then just create a new program just for testing assignment. Assignment, this thing. Okay, and then close this. So now you have this. Suppose I take a equal to 10. Now I want to increment this by how much? Increment by 2. This is important in programming. Sometimes we need to increment or decrement values. Okay. So then what is that I can do? I can say a equal to a plus 2. This is how you can apply incrementation. Suppose if I should decrement and you can just print it now for time being. I'm just directly printing, not adding that description and all that. Now similarly a equal to a minus 2. Okay. And again I am printing that after the operation. So if you see in both places I am doing this incrementation and decrementation by 2. Now, if I run it now, you can see in the first place we incremented by 2. Echo, what is that? 10 equal to 10 plus 2. It becomes 12 and then it is assigned to the same variable. Same thing happens with which one? With the second operation, decrementation. But decrementing by 2, decrementation is applied on the same variable A and it is stored into that. So we got 10 here. So this is how incrementation and decrementation works. Okay, now finally, how do you just simplify this? A shorthand representation. What is shorthand means? Simple, just see it. Instead of a equal to a plus 2, I can just simply say a plus equal to 2. See, I just simplified this, which is nothing but when you expand, it is nothing but a equal to a plus 2. And that I can just simplify by adding shorthand representation. You got it right. A equal to a plus 2 in sense, nothing but same operation. What is that? General, regularly you do. You just simplified with a shorthand. You got it right, friends. So that is the idea. So similarly, you can apply minus. You can apply shorthand on any kind of operator. All arithmetic. What I mean is a minus equal to a into equal to. Okay. Similarly, you can apply for slash, double slash, almost all arithmetic. You can test it again. Okay. Now what you can do? You can just apply a print after each operation. You get a similar response. Just analyze what would be the output. When I just use this shorthand, after this, what happens here? It is nothing but here it will be earlier when I do decrement on 12, it is 10. And again, I am doing increment on 10, it becomes 12 here. Okay, this is how you have to analyze your code. And here it becomes 10. And here it becomes again. So 10 into 2, it should be 20. Now right click and run this. You can see here. So this is how we apply shorthand operators. And shorthand are also a kind of assignment. Again, we don't need to think them as a different type. They are also kind of assignment which shortens the your logic. That's all. So this is overall idea about what is this, friends. Overall idea of assignment operators. You got it right. So I'm just sharing this. You can also quickly test it once. Okay, test it once. Now after this, this is clear, right? All of you are fine with this, friends. And you also you have this PPT. I think yesterday I didn't share it. Today I'll definitely just add to the group. You can use this even code snippets for testing. Understood? So I hope I made this assignments clear for all of you. Anybody has any question on this? No, right? We don't have that plus plus and minus minus here. If you ask me that, because that is there in Java, C, C++, all that. Okay, that unary plus plus, unary minus minus, we don't have much. That post incrementation, pre incrementation, all that. Generally, what we discuss in other languages. Okay, right. Next up to that. Membership operator. This is very important and very useful as well. What is membership? Membership is something which is used to check whether a value is present in a group or not, in a list or in a tuple or in a set or in a dictionary or in a string, anywhere. That's called membership, and the syntax is simple. And it's very simple again to use apply. Okay, you don't think that it is difficult. You can see here, I just took a list of fruits here, apple, banana, and cherry. And I want to check if apple is in fruits. I just took a string and it's like linear search in other languages. Right in C, C++ or Java or C Sharp. We have something called linear search. So that is nothing but simplified with in here, this membership operator. Membership means simply checking whether a member is part of that list or that data structure is what membership is. That's what, right? So that's for that we use in and not in. There are two different keywords in Python, which is nothing but in and not in. So let's quickly test it. Suppose you come here. What is that? So you can just create a new file here saying that what is that? Membership dot py something. You can just enter that. And what I can do now, I can just take a list like, fruits equal to, you can take different fruits like, apple. If not fruits, it's up to you, friends. Take anything of your choice. Apple, okay, orange, and then banana. You can take something like, And now how to apply membership? So simple, right? So you can just generally the validation is something we apply if the next topic is if. So I'll also show you one more time how to check conditions using or how to apply membership using this decision making statements. Okay, for now, I'm just using print for quick testing. So I'm just using a fruit here, apple. If not apple, you can take anything, friends, in that which one in that list fruits. So it is there, right? We have apple inside this list fruits. Then this check this in operation returns true. This is a Boolean operation. Apple in fruits. You are asking a question. Then this is validated by your interpreter and returns true because apple is there. If it is not there, it returns false. Suppose I'll just do that another testing. Okay, test case 2. You can see this is true. Now I'm creating what I'm using one more test case. What is that? I put it as a something like jackfruit. Okay. Do you have jackfruit inside fruits? We don't have it. So right click run this. Second should be false for us. You can see. Likewise, in is used to check whether a fruit, I mean, not just fruit, sorry, whether a value exists inside a data structure or not. Even string is a data structure. I'll talk more about it when we come to that topic. So
Any
this is
case
I,
sensitive here, sir?
sorry, what
Any
is the
case
question?
sensitive, for example, apple in small place, small letters,
Obviously,
right? If
yeah, yeah. See, obviously, Python itself is case sensitive, Sham.
okay,
So, in such case, suppose you are asking that query, we can test it here itself. Suppose you change this to capital A here,
hmm,
okay, and then run
you
it,
get the false.
and you get false here because the apple, capital A apple, is not there in these fruits. So to ignore that case, just to make sure no difference between upper and lower, there is a method inside string. What is that? So you can just use a method. What is that? You can ask to ignore case. There is something because generally we apply this when we are validating. Okay, let's not worry much how to use ignore case in strings in Python. Just creating a simple prompt here. Let me ask chat bubble. Okay, we have to use regular expression. You got it right? So there is something which we can choose simply, but that is not using AND operator. So I'll just make sure I'll ask for this, apply for this. Apply ignore using membership operator. I'm just showing you how to create your prompts, that's all. Okay. Okay. So again, it depends on the requirement. In this case, what it is doing is how you want that string to be. Suppose you are just doing it right, either convert it to be lower completely or convert it to upper so that you don't have issue. You just put one thing as a standard. Either all your string should be lower, all your string should be upper. That is a common standard you can add to the code. And based on that, let user input whatever he want or she want. You just apply. Suppose I just want everything in lower in my code for my validation. Just change that to lower. Okay. Then automatically what happens? No matter what, however user provides input, at your code will just convert it to required type here. And you can add a standard like way. Okay. There are, if it is Java, you have directly ignore
Equal
case.
ignorant.
Yes.
So
Equals ignore. Just a
so in
minute.
Python we
One
don't have
minute.
it. Okay, okay.
1 minute. Let me just see that that
Ignore please.
direct ignore. We are not seeing it, right? This is the when I say dot, it shows list of all methods available in string class. This is a string class, Shyam. Okay.
Okay.
And you don't see anything like that here, right? So that shows that we don't have direct ignore, but we have something in regular expression, but our topic is not regular expression, right? What is our topic? Membership update. So what you can do now, you can take it as a standard. It's not like that. There are different ways of building application. As a developer, or your architect will decide how that data should be. Now my standard is let people input in whatever case they want, but I'll always convert it to lowercase. Now right click run this now. Now you get same expected thing, right? So this is one way of managing. Suppose if you want thing, make sure I want everything to keep, I want to keep everything in uppercase, then just make sure that all this is in uppercase and then validate it with uppercase. So it's up to you how you want to design your code, how you want to expect your input from users, and based on that, you can create your code. Is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
So, Sham, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me just add it. Now, after this, so of course, just for now, we'll just go with the simple thing. What is that? Because you asked me that question, I just explained that. Okay, we'll go with this simple thing. Okay, so now if you run this, what happens? If it is the idea is about membership operator. If that particular string or that fruit exists in this list, then it returns true, else it returns false. Okay. Now let's copy this. Even I'll just share this also. You can try both so that you get an idea of both. Are you receiving this code snippets, friends? Sir? Are you receiving this in the chart?
Manohar.
Can you see them there? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you are clear with all this, whatever we just discussed. Similarly, you can also say something like, there is another way of testing this membership operators. One is checking if it is there inside that you do something. If it is not there inside that, you do something. There are two different ways of validations. Suppose if jackfruit not in fruits, you do something. Okay, I just say something like, suppose if jackfruit not in fruits, then what I can do, if it is a simple validation, I will add jackfruits to that list. I'll just show you a simple validation. I'm just showing you how a real scenario can be applied. Suppose I just check. Don't worry about this if that is your next topic. Okay, I say that if jackfruit not in fruits, if it is not there inside that list, then I want to add a jackfruit to that list. Then how do I do? Simply, I use fruits. You don't understand anything here, only just try to get that scenario. Okay, I'm showing you how we can use it in a real coding. Okay, and what I can do is I'm just showing how the validation can be used and how to add something after checking something if it is there or not. Okay, then I can just add jackfruit. I'm just first confirming that there is no jackfruit. Then I am adding that jackfruit to this list. So this is how you can use this membership validation and then try to add something to a data structure, especially list here. Okay, now you print it. Once you append, just see here, print that list itself directly. Now right click and run this. You can see here. What is that? Now jackfruit is added to the list. You can see there. And to add that, what did I do, friends? I just applied a validation with membership operator. Got it right? Suppose in another scenario, I'm just explaining you how useful this membership operators are. Suppose I am doing another check. Don't understand anything, only just see, observe that. That's all. Anyhow, you learned all this once you get a clear picture about decision making statements. Now I just come here. I'm just checking. Suppose if apple in fruits, then what is that? If already apple is there in fruits, then I should just skip it. I can simply say skip. For saying skip, you can use this built-in this thing called continue. Okay, this keyword. Or you can say pass. If not continue, we can use continue. There is nothing wrong with that. So you don't need to add again apple inside that list, right? Why? Because we have already apple in that. That's how this membership validation helps us. Okay. To see that if some data is there inside this data structures and make a decision according to that. Right. This time, what is that I'm doing? I'm just saying that if apple is inside fruits, then if not continue, you can just use pass. Okay. When I say pass, nothing should happen. That's it. Simple. Now, if I run this now, right. So it's same. In case of first scenario, I am validating if jackfruit is not present, then add that. In second scenario, I'm checking if apple in fruits, just don't do anything because it's already there. Likewise, you can do so many things in real code. You got it right. So, but don't understand because the topic is not this. Topic is getting a quick idea about in and not in. I'm very sure I made you understand the usage of in and not in. Is that clear to all of you, friends? All of you are clear? Just I
Yes.
hope I shared this with you. Yeah. Next topic. Let's go to the next one. The very important foundation of programming. And last one, identity operators. Identity in sense, this generally checks for address, whether both are same or not. With all this last three sessions, right? So you should have a clear idea about address, how to check for address, how address look, and immutability with yesterday's session. Everything should be clear. So now identity in sense to check whether two variables have same address or not. Right? At memory level, are they sharing same object? That's all. Suppose let us take this example. You can see here. If not this, I can just directly use another one. What is that? OS dot system of CLS. I'm just using prompt here. Maybe we should this dot system is for clearing screen. You can use it, friends. Fine. Now I just take A equal to 10, B equal to 10, right? And say A is B. This is membership operator. Means we are checking whether both are same or different. So enter true. You can see true. Why true? You know the background reason now. Anywhere if you observe these kind of code snippets, you can easily understand why they are returning true. Okay, suppose I say A equal to 10, B equal to 5, and then A is B. This time definitely you get false because both addresses are different. Okay, this is nothing but what? Or A is not B. You get true because this is how you can just apply membership operators. Is and is not are two different membership operators. Okay, that helps you to validate addresses of these objects. So everything in Python program we call objects. Okay, these variables are these functions, even classes. I mean the objects you create for classes. Everything is an object. Just to check if that objects are same or different, we apply this. What is that, friends? Identity operators here. So I hope you understood this because it is a very simple topic, right? We just quickly discuss that as well. So with this, I think we try to understand all different types of operators. I'm just moving to the next topic. That is another, the core foundation of any programming language. What is that? Before I move to the, I start this. Can I just quickly confirm that all of you are good with this till this, friends? Are you good till this? Any questions? Any questions
Yeah.
here, friends?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
In suppose uh here A is equal to B, I mean A is equal to 10, B is equal to 10. We are checking that address level confirmation, both address is
correct,
same or not.
correct.
So if we need to text level,
So what is that? If we need
text level.
text level instance, I didn't. You mean you are
In
asking for
value
strings? Right?
checking. Value
Yeah,
checking.
For
just you need to check
strings.
the value A and B is same or not. Value level validation.
You mean it's not address? You want to check for values. That's what,
Huh.
right?
Huh.
Okay, I got it. Then you can use equal, double equal. Okay, I'll just show you. So suppose you take string equal to Sham, right? Again, it's Sham. Okay.
So I think it's same like as Java.
See, almost all. See, these languages, Java, Python, or C Sharp, all these just are derived from C itself, by Sham. You got it?
Okay, okay,
They,
okay,
they
okay.
almost follow the same C thing, but difference with Python is Python even follows the same C, but it is a bit more simplified and much more easier for learning. You got it right.
Yes, sir.
Suppose you have Sham here, S2, and second again you have Sham. Okay, SHYAM, because you are asking. And we didn't yet discuss that. Your question is ahead of schedule.
No,
That's
no, no.
fine.
No, no, sir. But I see. I mean,
You
string
can see
level it
here.
is okay, but if it is
Okay.
integer level, you need to validate the text. Then
No need, right? Why again integer level you should validate text? You can even in this case you can say here that S1 equal to S2. That's it, right? Can you see
okay.
that? I'm validating here value only. I'm not validating address. You
Yeah, yeah.
understand?
A single equals, it will check that address level. Double equals, it will check the text level.
Not single equal. Single equal is for assignment again. You got
Okay.
it right. It's for assignment. Only is for membership checking.
Okay.
You want to
Okay.
sorry. Is for identity checking or address checking. You got it?
Okay. Is for address level checking.
Yes, correct. Is
Double
and is
equals is text level checking.
is and is not. Okay. Both are identity operators. You can use them anyway. Use like you like. You understand, Sham?
Yes, sir.
For value checking, this is what you have to do. Anyhow, that is there. That's why I didn't discuss that. Okay. Because these anyhow you understood that relational operators thing, right? We have
Yes.
discussed yesterday relational. In that relational, if you want to compare values for comparison purpose, what do you do? Are this relational operators? You can just apply double equal. Okay, if they are
Okay.
same, it returns true, else it returns false. Same thing applies for numbers as well. You got it right.
Yes, sir.
So right. Anyhow, we have a coverage of all this. You don't need to worry how to do
Oh,
that checks and everything.
yeah,
Okay.
well, one question, Manohar.
Sure, sure. Yes,
Very
please.
first one, A is equal to 10, B is equal to 10.
Okay.
If both the addresses will be same or how it is?
Correct, correct. So because we did discuss about this in yesterday's session, because 10 is in within range of what? -5 to 256. Do you remember? Yesterday we had memory management discussion and immutability of integers. Raja, it's Raja, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's address level, I think.
Yeah. Suppose you see ID, we do one thing. Let's reset the values. Yeah, let's reset them. A10, B10. Okay, this is your question, right? Just see ID of A, ID of B. See this. And if you observe this, both of these variables uses same address. Yes or no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So why big? If you ask me reason why, again, this now integer is in range of -5 to 256. Okay, there is something like I did explain this as well. Maybe you can just check yesterday's recording once, Raja.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
gives you
yeah.
a very clear picture.
Okay, okay.
And in this range, if you use any integer, they are immutable. For immutable objects, they are treated as singleton objects. Only one copy is created. For second time, if you try to declare it in the code like this, like b equal to 10, that existing object is reused. You got it, Raja?
Okay,
It won't create a new object again. Same 10 will be reused. Means the address of already existing object is copied to this reference or variable b. That's all.
okay, okay.
Understood? Is that clear
Okay.
now? It's like
Yeah,
having one chair just to get a quick idea, easy understanding. You just have one chair, okay, in a room, and you have three members. What do you do? So first, if you are using right, A is using that. Now, second person asked a chair. You just give it to him, and again, third person asked the chair, and you just share it. Here, you have one chair, but three different people are using it. So that
okay,
means what? This is singleton. Singleton means one copy, but what is the point here? You can assign it to multiple variables. Assigning
okay,
in sense, we use that address of that same already existing object to all other variables. You
okay,
can share the address. You got it right.
okay, okay. This is only for values from -5 to 256.
Whichever are in immutable this thing. Okay. And for int, this is the immutable range. You got it?
Okay,
Apart from that, again, suppose if you go to 256, it will have a different address for even though you declare it, redeclare it again. Understood?
okay,
Suppose
okay.
just
They was
to
they was taken
repeat.
-5 to 256. Why
Okay.
they does not take in the other numbers? Any specific reason for that thing?
It's a language design. Suppose
Okay,
if your
okay.
question is that it's a language design, so they just kept it because these are the most frequently used short values. So just they just put them so that memory is efficiently used. That should be the idea. Sham itself again. If it is not Sham, if someone asking that question, what is that? Again, depends on the usage and everything. People try to create it, friend. You understand? Okay. Finally, I think can we jump to next topic? Okay. I think we try to have a
Yes.
quick Q&A here. I tried to answer most of your questions. So this is again, if why only this means it's the language design and mostly the short values. These might be used very regularly and in huge this thing. So that's why they made this as immutable, just to make sure that memory is efficiently managed. That's all. Next after that is decision making statements. Okay. So this is again a core concept in Python. This one. What is this? Not just Python. In any language, decision making is the very important topic, friends. And that starts with if. And the first thing is simple if. There are different forms of if generally, right? Simple if, multiple if, nested if. There are different forms of if. So what I do is I'll try to cover all this in detail one by one. Okay. The first one is simple if, and second one multiple if, and third one nested if. So these are even just if has these many forms. So a simple if statement has different forms. Of course, everything again is if, but how we are using that, organizing that structure is important. That's all. Simple if means just one if you can see here. What is simple if? Just a one if statement, and it executes a block of code only if condition is true. Okay. So that's simple if. And the syntax of if always look like this. What is that if? So something like condition. Okay, we can just add condition and then colon. And here I have to bring in the importance of again indentation. So far we just it's a simple program. We just declared and tested everything. From now onwards, a block declaration comes into the picture. It's not like just declaring statements like this one by one. We are going to have the kind of the block concept. If it is C and C++, we use processors for block and we can declare statement as we like. And Python is using something called indentation. Let me explain that here. So if you see, I think what is the syntax of if here? I think that is missing in this slide. So I am adding here. Just take it from here. So the syntax of if is here, the if condition. Okay, if you want, you can add more conditions. It's up to you. Like, using that logical operator and you can combine multiple conditions with and. And the syntax is this if condition. And then you have to add statements here. What is that statement one? You can see there what is indentation. Let me explain it to you clearly so that you don't get confused. Statement two, statement three, statement four. I remember, right, like, many years back when I was learning Python, these are something which is little bit confusing for me. You got it right, not now. Right, in the old days, when I started learning, like 15 years back or something, this is a bit confusion. Why it's confusing? Because so that C has just braces. I just got adapted to that. When I come here, but once I understood that, I felt this is much more simpler. What is this here? You just declare a if statement with some condition or conditions, whatever you want, and then colon. And we don't have bracers here in Python. We don't use opening bracer, closing bracer. Suppose if it is C, let me just give you an idea. Okay, if it is C language or C++ or Java or C sharp, they follow this syntax. Okay, they use processors and then again they have statements. That thing is same. Okay, that's fine. But what is that? How is the syntax of this and how is that blocks created in other languages like this statement two dot dot dot. Okay, like this. You understand, right? So this is a structure in other languages, syntax in either C, C++, or Java, or C Sharp, or some other traditional languages. But if it is Python, Python is more of what is that indentated language. Of course, both are case sensitive, even the C, C++, Java, or this or Python. But thing is, Python is indentated language. It doesn't use bracers for blocks, but it uses indentation as a block. What is indentation? That is a question you might ask, right? So I declare a syntax here if condition. Okay, I just declare the statement here, if statement. And after that, if I want to create a block, you see, I use some space in the beginning of each statement, that to equal space, if you see that. Right now, if I want to say what is if block, all the statements and inside if block are is a block. Sorry, all the statements which are pushed into if block or if statement is a block. You got it right. So here, this is indentation. Indentation means you cannot just declare a statement directly like, if underscore statement one, if underscore statement two, if underscore statement three, like this. If you do this, it throws error. I'll show you all this. I'll just make you comfortable with practical by testing it in the PyCharm. If you declare like this, suppose if it is C, I can declare the statement directly in the beginning itself inside that block. We don't have any problem. Nothing harm comes here because this is valid in Java or C or C++ anywhere. If it comes to Python, if you just start declaring statement at the very beginning without any indentation. Indentation means providing at least one space into that if statement. And recommended is standard is 4 spaces, but minimum 1 space is required as a part of indentation. Right? If I declare this throws error. So what is that I need? I need a tab space after each statement. Tab, just a tab. Now you can see that this is all the statements are part of if block. I hope I made you clear on this, friends. Did I make it clear for you? What is indentation? How to create a block in Python? And what is the significance of this space here inside some kind of constructs like this? Language constructs like if or while or okay for or anything. Right. This is how you have to build them. Okay. And this is how you have to create blocks. Understood now? You don't have processors like this in Python. No matter what, how many lines of code you write, however big your program is. You got it? So this is the idea, friends. This is about if syntax. Let me just share that syntax with you. I am not seeing time. What is time?
It's 9:15.
Okay, then we have few more minutes. We can continue, not an issue. So just use this. Okay, did I make you clear with this if and the indentation part and all that, friends? Okay, let us just quickly test it in PyCharm. Okay, I just close this. Now I'm creating another package here, new Python package, and then just make it as a decision making. Okay, now I just try to add new and then Python. Okay, and just adding here simply a small program for testing this if like greatest of two numbers. Sorry, friends. Giving proper names is always a good thing, friends. Okay? Anywhere, this program names, this variable names, anywhere. Okay, so now enter. Now, if you want, you can add a comment. What is that? This is the greatest stuff to. Okay. Now, suppose what is that? I should take two numbers, A equal to 10, B equal to 5. Now I am using simple if. This is a simple if. What is simple if? It just have only a one if statement. And always, and I'll explain the execution flow. If condition instance A greater than B, because to check greatest of two numbers, you just take two variables, compare them here. For comparing, we use relational operators that to greater than. Of course, you can use less than, but the problem is greatest. So I use greater. Now you can just say print. Okay. And I am using F stringer. So if this condition is true, what is that I can say? I can say A is I'm just using here. A is greater than. I'm using one more placeholder. As this is format string, we directly place variables into that placeholders. You can see this. Okay. So this is a simple if, friends. This is simple if, just one if. Now, what is the execution flow? If this condition is true, then this if block executes. If condition is false, you don't see anything because we just have only one if. You got it right? So this is the idea, friends. Understood now? So what is that here? When you do greatest of two numbers, and if you want to check, validate this greatest, then you have to use if here. And suppose I want to debug this code, right? I want to just debug this, the execution flow. I just made this point very clear. What is the execution flow? If condition is true, execute this block. Else, skip that. It doesn't enter into that block. Now this time, suppose if I run this before I do debug, you can see that there is a typo here. Let me correct this. A is greater than. You can see a type. I mean, you can see the output here. 10 is greater than 5. Right? So this is perfect, right? But now suppose I all of a sudden I change my values. I put B is 50 here. Now if I run this, see here, what is that I get? I don't see any output. Why? The condition is false. Then if condition is false, this block doesn't get executed. And you should also see one thing. I created a block with a indentation here. Suppose you see, I try to put it to the beginning itself. Now if I run this, see here, let me just show you. What happened here? What is it saying here? See this? Indented. It clearly saying that it is indentation error. Expected an indented block. Why it is expecting indented block? Any idea, friends? Because that is how the language, Python language is designed. When you create blocks in Python, blocks are created with indented block, with indentation. So how much indentation, if you ask me, at least one space is okay. Minimum one space, but recommended is what? A tab, 4 spaces. Standard practice is 4 spaces, but even having just one space into that if statement is fine. It's acceptable. Now, if you run this, still this print is treated as a block. This print is inside the if statement, and this is part of if block. Okay, like right click, run this. Why we didn't see the output? We didn't get the error. First thing you can see two things. First, we didn't see the error. Means we are good with the code. Code is clean. But why don't we see output? Because B is bigger than A. Condition is false here. Or A is not greater than B. This condition is failed. Then this block is not executed. So suppose you put here 100. Now you run this. You can see. Again, you can see the output. Finally, I think you got clarity on multiple things here, right? What is that? The if syntax, the execution flow of if, and the concept of indentation. What if you don't use indentation and the error which we are seeing here? Anytime if you see indentation error means you are not creating that blocks properly, not only if any block. Okay, because from here onwards, we most of the time keep using this blocking, this thing, block scenarios. Like, if you go to while, we use blocks. If you go to for, we use blocks. If you go to function, we use blocks. If you go to class, we use blocks. Everywhere, the concept of this block thing is going to be there. You got it right, friends? So I hope I made you clear on this. Okay. So with all this, what shall I say? This thing.
Sir, how we can write the else statement in Python?
That is next topic. That is next in the list.
Okay.
If you are asking me, so let me
Sure,
just show
sir.
you content so you get that idea. You can see multiple. After simple if, I am going to multiple if. After multiple if, what I am going to do? I am going to discuss nested if. Okay, let me just show you so you get an idea. Okay. First, I'll build slowly one by one. Okay. After multiple if, you learn what is that here. You can see here now. Simple if else again. Okay. After simple if else, again you learn multiple if else. After that, again you learn what is that elif. Okay. Got it. So this is how we organize our learning. Got it. So we have a coverage of that as well. Just in tomorrow's session. You don't need to wait for more time. Got it, friends? So this is overall idea of what is that this one about simple if and all that indentation part, and then again the execution flow. So any more questions on this? I just need to show you how to do the debugging. Okay. So the debugging part here. So how to do debugging? You just add a debugger here. Okay. Then I'll just show you debugging as well. What is debugging? Suppose if you want to check the execution flow, how the program is getting executed. Okay. If you want to check if something went wrong in a code, then we go for debugging. Okay, so here I put a debugger point. Where did I put that? I put it at the condition, if condition. You can put a debugger point wherever you want. And you can see here where to place it, just at the left side of this window in this editor. Okay, suppose I want it here, I can put it. I want it here, I can put it here. Wherever I want, I can put a debugger. But for now, I need that at this point. Now I have to execute this program. You can see here debug. I have to run it in debug mode, not just regular execution. Okay. You just see that the execution flow with debug. Now we are where it is at this if condition now. It just executed all these things. It just initialized A, initialized B. You can see all that there. Now it is at the condition. That is where I put my debugger. Then what is that I should do? There are debugging options here, controls. Which control should I use or should I choose? Step over is one thing, step into is one thing, all this and step into my code. You don't need this, either step over or step into. I can apply step over. Okay, because this condition is true, you can see that control clearly enter into that block. You can see that there. Why it entered? Because the condition is true. Now you run it again. You just step over, execution is completed, and you can see the output. Suppose you just change your value to 500 here, and then you try to run it again, debug it again. Sorry. This time, observe the execution flow carefully, friends. Watch it carefully. Okay. Now, if I say step over, it just skipped the execution. You don't see any control movement here. Control just exited. Why? Because the condition is false, then automatically control is skipped from executing the if block. So this is overall idea of what is it, friends? Overall idea of this if and simple if and debugging. Even you learned many things in this simple in few minutes of span. What did we learn? We learned about if today, condition checking, and creating and doing a validation of a program. And finally, what is that? We also learned indentation. And we also learn what? This debugging thing. Okay, these are different topics we try to cover in just couple of minutes. Okay, apart from that, we had other coverage as well. Understood, friends? So this is for today. If you have any questions, then we can keep it for Q&A now. We are done with this. Okay. And maybe if you want, you can use this program as well for testing purpose. I'm just sharing this with you. Any questions now? I'm just stopping this thing.
Yeah,